I'm a post-polio quadriplegic. I had polio in 1958. That means that I have lack of use of both legs and to some degree both arms. I have some limitations in my left hand. I can't really hold on to things very well. And I can't lift my arm. I'm looked upon as an incomplete person, as an incomplete human being, who is unable to function normally, who undoubtedly does not live in a normal home situation, who probably has just been sprung from the nursing home for the day. The implication is that I'm not responsible for my own well-being, for my own existence in the world, that I'm not able to make decisions, that I'm not able to communicate, that I'm not even to be acknowledged. Living in a wheelchair and functioning and existing from a sitting vantage point has a lot of problems around it. First of all, you're doing things from the perspective of sitting down, which means that just from a visual point of view, you're seeing everybody's navels, or you're seeing their waist, or you're seeing their behinds, or you're looking up to people and people are looking down to you. And that in itself is one of the things that that makes anybody who's disabled feel even more disabled. You're being patronized just by your body language. Every day there's an incident having to do with who am I, what am I. Real regularly, the medical staff, including the nurses, will really question my credibility. A number of times, interns or residents have come to me and looked straight at me and then looked over my head, and I'll have to wave my arm and say, hey, I just called you, and this is the information that you have come down to get, and I'm the person who's going to be giving it to you, and I'm giving it to you, and why don't you look at me, because here I am. There's this question of my identity and who in hell am I. When it comes down to who is going to be a competent person, it's got to be somebody on their feet. Joe Rick, come to booth 3, please. Hi, Joe. How are you doing this morning?
Fine, thank you.
Great. Haven't seen you in a long time.
Well, I like to stay away from a place like this as much as I can.
I understand that. What are you coming in for today?
Well, I'm going to be admitted. The vascular people, they want to do an arteriogram, and then they were thinking about an implant or some darn thing. I don't know.
Okay, Joe, I need to talk to you just briefly about the kinds of medications you're taking. Can you tell me what it is that you're taking now?
Yeah, I'm taking all diuridium, and he's given me a prescription for a new one. I don't know. It's new to me. I don't know.
Let me just see what you're taking now.
Wow.
Oh, he's got a lot of new ones. Oh, that looks good. They can get that blood pressure under control. We're going to prepare the rest of your paperwork. You can wait in the lobby for a few more minutes, and we'll give you another call over the loud.
All right. Much fair enough.
Take it easy.
I'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The real criteria for whether I am really a three-dimensionally successful person, a so-called adjusted person, a so-called happy person, has nothing to do with how well I function in my work setting or how well I'm dealing with my basic needs, because for me, all of that stuff has been going on for years, and I have been doing all of these things. But there are other facets of my life in which I am dealing with exactly the same problems as an able-bodied person has to deal with. The interpersonal problems that arise from living with people, sexual problems, financial problems, goal problems, reasons for existence problems. All of these are no more or less resolved because I have resolved my physical relationship with my work setting and my home setting. I still am just as much enmeshed in all of the problems of resolving a lot of basic life questions as anybody who is not disabled. And I think it's good to keep in perspective these kinds of things, because I think they're there for everybody who has jumped over the initial problems of dealing with a new disability or dealing with a disability. And in that sense, maybe that takes me a bit out of the context of being disabled and puts me, more in the perspective of just an ordinary human being having to deal with ordinary human problems.
Michael Williams has been a writer since the age of 10. He is a journalist and an author. He is currently a master's candidate in psychology.
just to help or to take this poor person on an outing, be able to get out and away from the house.
There are times when a person will speak to Gene rather than me directly. Where does he want to sit? What would he like to buy? What does he want to eat? Those kinds of things.
If people know that we're in a relationship, they still assume that it would be something very different than a normal relationship. It would have to be different in their eyes.
Pure. No sex.
No.
Platonic. Those kinds of things.
Yeah.
You think so?
It isn't different. I think their assumption is because a person is limited in some way that limits their whole life.
There's a difference between a disabled person and a person with a disability. And I don't consider myself a disabled person. I'm a person with a physical limitation, but I'm a lot of other things also. A photographer, and a winemaker, and a lover, and a friend, and a father. Lots of different things. I identify very strongly with the disabled community, but I refuse the role of a disabled person. Maybe that's where some of the confusion comes in, what a relationship can be like.
I'm in this relationship because I'm getting something out of it.
The reasons we got together didn't have anything at all to do with disability. Sometimes I think I'm at a place in my life when I'm right at the threshold of being able to see all the kinds of things that I've never tried or never experienced, kind of rush out there and start doing stuff. What's exciting is that you're willing to try it. I like that.
And my willingness to try it, I guess, comes somehow from being with you. I don't know how that works.
Curious. Maybe that's the chemistry.